I am a man of honor, integrity, and promise. I pursue all righteousness. I love my family. I will not put my family in harm's way. There is nothing that will keep me from doing the right thing. I am an ambassador of hope and a man of discipline. I am a man worth following. I am a TYRO.
Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina. And for those of you that don't know who we are, Ron and I are the co-founders of the Ridge Project and the co-creators of TYRO.
TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior.
A warrior, like this man sitting
That's
right
right,
next to
that's
me.
right. I show you my guns, but you fall in love with me.
I'll put them away, baby.
All right. So we had the great honor and privilege of sharing with you not only our experiences, but bring anecdotes and equations on how to really make it in today's society.
And solve those equations with you as you are on your journey from inside prison to transitioning outside prison into your community, into your homes, into your neighborhoods, and into employment.
And lately we've been talking about reentry. We've been talking about how do you transition from that type of environment, the one you're in now, to a society that maybe might be hostile to your involvement.
Those are pretty big words, Mr. Tiarina. So we are actually teaching you all of the things and sharing information with you that we learned from our own experience through our own journey through 15 years of incarceration and a decade of poverty. And so we learned a lot of very valuable lessons on what it takes, what we really need to acquire and learn and know in order to overcome those obstacles. And so it is our pleasure and our passion to share those with you so that you also can achieve your dreams.
So today's segment, we're going to talk about workforce and what does it mean to be a successful entrepreneur? What does it mean to be a successful employee? What does it mean to be a successful father in those areas of your life, a husband, a friend? You know, you're not only getting a job, but understanding why you're going to get a job. Not only maintaining a family.
And how to take advantage of every opportunity around you. There are all kinds of different programs. There are all kinds of different things out there. And if you're not leveraging those and taking advantage of them, then you cannot complain that you cannot get a job.
Now, we're not talking about having that entitlement mentality where somebody owes you something. When Cathy says taking advantage, these are opportunities that are presented to you, but guess what? You got to show up and show out.
That's right.
You got to
It's not a
show up
golden
and show
ticket,
out. That's
right?
right. Not a golden ticket, but a golden opportunity.
Which means it requires effort and work on your part. So today, we're super excited. We're going to have a local expert right here on our show. When we come back, you'll get to meet Joe Jakubowski.
Joe Jakubowski.
We call him Joe Jack around here. So you are going to really, really like this guy, and he is here to help you gain employment. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You will begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine Tiarina's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina, and today we are talking about workforce development.
And we have with us a very, very special guest by the name of Joe Jakubowski, which goes by the name Joe Jack, which we are thrilled and excited to have him be part of today's segment.
So Joe Jack is actually one of our project directors, and he's actually directing a project that is very workforce intensive and workforce driven. But Joe, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us and tell the viewers a little bit about you, where you came from, who you are.
Sure. So my name is Joe Jakubowski, aka Joe Jack, and I'm originally from Ohio. And Really, my journey started out with the dream of playing college basketball, collegiate basketball. That was always my dream growing up, as being a basketball player. And so in high school, I really pushed into that dream and really went after it. I went to a school in Toledo and became a great athlete, became a great high school basketball player, and I was eventually able to reach my goal of becoming a Division I college point guard for Bowling Green State University, just down the road from here.
Nice.
How many years did you play point guard there?
I played 4 years. I started all
Wow.
4 years as the point guard there.
But did
Wow.
that gift and talent of playing basketball, was that a scholarship? Did that get you into doing academics?
Everything was paid for. It was a full ride scholarship, 100%.
Wow.
But did it come to you just because your name is Joe Jack and they like that? Or
Because you're tall, or
No, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, it took a tremendous amount of work and effort and dedication. When I was growing up, a lot of people didn't believe me. They thought I could never become a Division I basketball player. They told me that even. And so that really motivated me to prove them wrong. And so every day before school, in high school, mind you, at 5:30 in the morning, I was in the gym working on my skills, and I was able to develop them in such a way where I got good enough.
okay. So wait, so you're in the gym at 5:30 in the morning. Where were the rest of your classmates?
They're probably sleeping.
Probably sleeping.
Yeah.
So why didn't you just sleep? And it's like, okay, well, if everybody else is sleeping, why not sleep?
Because I realized, and I was very thankful to realize this at a young age, I realized that it required extra work and extra effort to achieve what you want to achieve, your goals.
Wow, that's
wow.
awesome.
So you were able to take those skills at such a young early age and those attributes and that attitude and able to apply them as you got older, became a young adult from high school to college, and to find yourself here at the Ridge Project.
Well, and to find
Right?
yourself, first of all, living your dream, going through college and saying, wow, all of that work. So here's before we get there, so here's another question. So as you got to college, and so you've been up at 5:30 in the morning all throughout high school, so now you could just ride through and just play.
Well, yeah,
for
of
4
course.
years, right?
I mean, just look at you. You're good looking.
I mean, you already got it, right?
You got it going on, right?
No, as a matter of fact, it took even more work in college. During season when we had our season, I would actually spend around 80 hours a week on basketball. from
So wait a
travel,
minute. So you
practice.
didn't party with the fellas? You didn't go clubbing? You didn't go hang out Friday night?
You didn't sleep in every day.
I mean, I
stay up
had
late?
I had friends and a bit of a social life, but it did take a sacrifice to play as Division I collegiate athlete. It took extra effort. It took waking up earlier than everyone else. It took time management. It took hard work. It took taking care of your body, a good diet. It was a holistic approach to if you want to play at that high of a level.
At that level. That's a great way to
And
put
what
it.
was the return on that investment for you?
Well, the return is I got my tuition paid for. I came out of college with a bachelor's degree and also no debt. So
No debt.
And a great experience playing collegiate basketball that I'll take with me the rest of my life. And
Yeah.
great connections, great friends. I'm very thankful and very blessed for what I was able to accomplish.
Yeah, and that's really an anomaly in today's society. To come out of college with no debt, that is
Yes.
a huge deal, Joe. That is,
That's a big deal. Congratulations on doing that.
and playing all 4 years as starting point guard, that's a
Thank
big
you.
deal too. That was awesome.
So Joe, when you came out of that reality, college, under the hoops and all that light, and then you find yourself in grown up, if you will, the world, America, right? There ain't no spotlight on you. There ain't nobody cheering in your corner. You're by yourself, and you say, now what do I do? What activated in you? Were you able to take those skills and talents and then put them into your next field in life, your next chapter?
Well, I mean, it was when I graduated from college, I really took a hard look at what I wanted in life and my goals and my dreams. And as soon as I figured out what I wanted after post basketball, I knew that those principles and those habits were transferable to anything that I did. And once I realized that, it gave me a lot of confidence because I knew if I'm successful in basketball, if I was able to achieve this, then I know that whatever I put my mind to, I can achieve those things as well.
So Joe, you didn't just come up with this all by yourself. So what did you have around you and with you to take you to that level of thinking?
Well, first is divine providence. Definitely God having a faith really I think blessed me and showed me some of these principles. But also I had great mentors. So one is my dad, my father, who really helped me achieve those goals of playing basketball and really taught me, hey, if you want to go somewhere, you have to work your butt off. Really, that's what he taught me.
Right.
And then my brothers.
That's good.
A
My
great
brothers,
lesson.
my older brothers, Jeremy and John. Not only did they really help me become successful by teaching me these things because they were older than me, but they also pushed me because we'd play in the yard all the time, and I'd always play against them, and they were bigger, taller, faster, and that taught me how to hone my skills so I can play against them.
So
and
your
be
brothers are
successful.
taller than you?
John is shorter than me.
By
And
now.
Jeremy
Yeah,
is
but how short is tall?
Well, John's
Is that right?
John's 6'1" and I'm
I'll call
6'2".
it short.
I'll call it short.
And
Yeah.
Jeremy, my oldest brother, who's older than both me and John, he's 6'3".
Wow.
But
wow.
when I was
you were little.
when I was 10, I was like 5'3",
Yeah, yeah.
and they were 6'1" and 6'2",
Wow.
developed grown men basically. So,
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we know we are so thankful to have you with us here because we want to talk about what you do now and what really compelled you or drove you to come and be part of the Ridge Project and
So
what we get to do
before we
here.
go to a break, tell us just very briefly, what do you do today? What are you doing now?
Today my main job is really being a project director of a grant that we have, a project in Mansfield, where we help guys go from work release centers, halfway houses, and prisons to jobs where they're making a living wage and on a career pathway.
I got to ask this question though. From high school to basketball star, point guard, because that's a key position. That's the captain of the team, and 4 years in the season and stuff like that. And then getting out and having ambitions and dreams and goals. Where did you see working in reentry and helping people? Where does that come in?
You know what? We're going to talk about that when we come back.
Sure.
So stay tuned because you are not going to want to miss what Joe has to say. We'll be right back.
Playing catch, basketball, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. These are all normal things on the outside, but many times are missed in a visitation setting. TYRO Dads brings the same fun experience to the inside through Family Days. As a TYRO Dad, you have the opportunity to participate in this fantastic event. Family Day is designed to allow fathers and families to engage with each other through activities designed to stimulate communication, learning, and play. Family Days will not only be a highlight for you, but for your children as well. The Ridge Project has strategically developed Family Day as an opportunity to help you connect with your child throughout your separation and help both of you develop skills to continue building your relationship when you return home.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina, and today we are talking about workforce development with a very special guest, Joe Jack.
Joe Jakubowski. And what I left you with the question, why reentry? Why the Ridge Project? Having a great step in life to where you went from high school to a college basketball and really understood some great leadership skills. Came out of college debt-free, had a great bachelor's degree, ready to take on the world, and all of a sudden you...
And working in job employment services, and now landing here.
Well, the first thing is I went to Guatemala for 2 years. I was a missionary there for 2 years,
Okay.
and so I saw really another area, another part of the world that really left an imprint on me. And what I really took away from it was that I don't want to use my talents just for myself. I want to use my talents to help others. And so when I learned that in Guatemala and I came here, I realized that whatever career I was going to choose, I wanted to be to help others. And so I was working in employment services, like you mentioned, and then a job at the Ridge Project came open. And when I learned more about the Ridge Project and what we do here, I realized, man, I want to be part of that organization because they are helping people in the United States get back on their feet, get motivated, and change their life. And so that's what brought me here.
Wonderful,
That's awesome.
wonderful. So what did you think when you found out about the TYRO program?
Well, you know, they were the principles that were taught when I first went through TYRO. The principles that were taught were really almost self-evident because I knew them deep within my being, but I never put words to them like TYRO does. And so when I took the course and I started to learn, I'm like, man, this is exactly what I've been living out my entire life, and then some. You know, because there were other things that I didn't know that I learned from being in the TYRO program, especially that entitlement mentality. I think that even as a hard worker, as a millennial, I have a danger of falling into that entitlement where I think people owe me things just based on growing up in that generation. And I'm really thankful for TYRO because TYRO really taught me that that entitlement mentality is detrimental not only to yourself but to your family and your loved ones.
Good word.
So tell us a little bit more about the project. So you're working on a project funded by the Department of Labor. It's concentrated in Mansfield City or Richland County, or?
Yeah, it's mostly concentrated in Mansfield, Ohio, which is in Richland County. And as far as the project, we're looking at focusing on 2 or 3 career pathways. One is CDL. helping guys get their CDLA and then getting to employment as a truck driver, but also manufacturing. We also have an option for manufacturing if they're not interested in CDL. We're also working on some other career pathways in sales and also in customer service and also in welding. So we're trying to give them a lot of options, which is not really something that guys have with criminal records as options.
Right.
What about tow motor? Is there anything to do with forklift operators or anything like that?
Well, that's part of our manufacturing pathway.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So having a tow motor license is very attractive to an employer, especially in manufacturing.
Yeah.
So to show that they have that on their resume, we can offer that to them to help them
So,
more employable.
help me understand. So, do the guys have to be going home to live in Mansfield, or do they have to be in a work release center in Mansfield, and can they be going somewhere else?
No, great question, the latter. So they have to be at a work release center at a halfway house in Mansfield. It doesn't matter if they're from Cleveland or from Toledo or from Texas. As long as they start in Mansfield at that work release center, then they qualify for the program.
Oh, great.
So they don't got to be a dad, or they got
They don't
to
have to
be.
be a dad. Nope, they don't have to be anything.
Okay,
Wow.
do they have to be a man?
No, actually, they can also be a woman.
See, that's so
Wow.
awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
So for men and women that are in halfway houses or work release centers, actually
Mansfield,
in
Ohio.
Mansfield,
Ohio, that's correct.
Then you can explain the process. So what happens? So let's say that I know that I'm going to be going home, and I want to, and let's say we want to request. Say, okay, you know what? I know that there's this opportunity. So I get into a work release center that is in Mansfield, even though eventually I'm going to be in Cleveland or Cincinnati or Columbus or wherever. I get there. Now what?
Once you get there at that work release center and you qualify, then you have to immediately take the TYRO leadership program.
Okay.
It's 6 weeks.
What if I already took TYRO Dads?
You have to take it again.
Okay.
You have to take it again.
Okay, great.
Different funding, different.
Different
Yeah.
funding, yes.
Yep. New
and,
grant.
and also, one of the great things about TYRO, other than just the character development and what you learn, is it's a 6-week interview. A lot of employers will interview a guy for an hour, and the guy will say, "Yeah, I'm your man,"
Yeah.
but there's no way to validate it. TYRO can validate a guy because
Yeah.
it's a 6-week interview. I mean, people who are serious and motivated will last. People
So,
who
so
aren't-
TYRO brings that seal of approval.
Yes.
Also,
Right.
right?
Yes,
For the
exactly.
employer.
And employers love that because if they know that a guy persevered through a 6-week program and then went to tow motor training or to
Right.
CDL or to some kind
Another
of other
few
training,
weeks of more
that's
training.
10 or 11 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
That
That he was
shows an employer
consistent.
something.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's consistent.
That's
or
great.
she's consistent.
Right.
Awesome.
Okay, so they come, they take TYRO leadership, then what?
Once they complete it, they get pinned. They have to get pinned. They have to get a certificate. That shows us, because we have funding, and also our other funders, that guy's worth investing into, or that lady is worth
Okay.
investing into. So once we know that, then we'll send them to CDLA training, or to tow motor license training, or to welding, or to sales training. But they
So
have
how
to
do
get
you
through that 6-week
determine
program.
what training they go to, skills training? Do we pick that for them? Do they say what they want?
No, they actually pick it.
Okay,
They pick
great.
it. It's based upon their interests, but also their abilities, because a lot of people can't drive trucks. They can't do welding because they might have a disability or something that inhibits them. So it depends on their interest and what they can do.
Okay.
So Joe Jack, so I hear you say that you're the project director of a Department of Labor grant in Mansfield, Ohio. So we come back, what I'd really like to talk about is also, the RICH Project isn't doing this by themselves. So is there other partners involved and the community, and how is the community embracing the returning citizens?
Sure.
So,
Right, so to hear more about this new project and more about workforce development and how to become successful on the other side of those gates, stay tuned.
Dear son, it's been hard these last few years, watching you grow up without me in the picture. Never taking the time to find out how you were or what was going on in your life. You're just a boy, I thought. You don't need me. I didn't need my dad. He was never around, I told myself. But I was wrong, son. I'm supposed to be a grown man. I was selfish. I was stupid. I was thinking of me, not you. If I could go back, son, and change things, I would. It's taken me all this time being selfish to finally grow up and realize I need to be a responsible man. That's what I finally learned, not from prison, but the TYRO program. It's all about becoming a better, stronger man. Wish I would have gotten it sooner. Everything looks different to me now. I'm a changed person. I know I need to be there for you now. It's not about me anymore. It's not about being cool. It's not about who I run with. It's about mom. It's about you. It's about being a better man. learning something new in my life. It's about being a TYRO, a man worth following. I'm your dad. You're my son, and I love you. I am a TYRO. I'm a TYRO. Dad.
If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or just want to know more, contact your local Ridge Project facilitator or your caseworker.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO, and today we are talking about workforce, how to get a job, how to keep a job, and some resources that are out there.
And we have with us a great special guest named Joe Jakubowski, better known as Joe Jack. And Joe is the project director of a grant that the Ridge Project has under the Department of Labor. And so he has the privilege and honor of leading that charge in Mansfield, Ohio.
So we were just talking about, okay, so what happens next? So they go there, they take TYRO leadership, they go to their training, and Ron says, okay, so now is Ridge Project the only one that's providing this service? Are we there just like kind of lone ranger?
What if he's got child support issues? What if they got DMV issues, licensing? I mean, there's a lot of issues a guy can have when he comes out of the joint.
And what kind of partnerships or what's happening?
Yeah, so we have a group of agencies and organizations and businesses, and what we call it is the collaborative partnership. And so it's called a CPC, and we have all kinds of agencies and organizations that serve these men and women. So we have legal aid, access to legal aid. Goodwill is one of our partners there, and they offer great services for workforce development. We also have the Ohio Means Jobs agency in Richland County. They're also part of the group, and the whole spirit behind it, the whole vision behind it is exactly what you guys just mentioned. These people, these men and women have needs and barriers that we can't necessarily solve ourselves, and we don't claim to solve all those things.
Right.
We do one thing.
So we're not the fix-it-all.
No, we're not the fix-it-all. And when we do identify needs that they have that we can't solve or can't provide or can't help, then we refer them out to other agencies. And because they're on this partnership and they know us and they know what we're trying to do, they are glad to help and partner with us.
So the community has actually embraced this concept of when the men and women return home from penitentiary and they land in their community, they've embraced it. Look, we want them to become better. You know, if they're going to be living in our community, in our town, we want them to be healthy and whole as they become productive citizens in our community.
Yeah, exactly. And the people, the agencies and organizations on this project, they understand that, and they realize that. And we even have some schools like Madison Adult Career Center. We have some truck driving academies that are also part of it. But I think people need to realize something in the community that it's in all of our interests for these guys to get back on their feet. Because if they fail, then it not only affects them, but it affects the whole community.
Okay, that's a good word.
So everybody is rallying around helping recently released men and women that are in workforce or work release centers in Mansfield. So we've got this whole sphere of help. And not only that, like we also have other projects so that they could actually qualify for healthy relationships. So especially if you're an incarcerated dad and you need parenting and healthy relationship skills and training, then we have other funding that can help you with that. So you kind of get this whole surround of services to help you become successful.
Well, this is really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, they call them wraparound services.
Yeah.
And not only that, but we also have employers on this collaborative. We also have representatives, political representatives, who are also pledged to help us. So a lot of people think that people aren't out there helping, but there are a lot of people out there, a lot of agencies and organizations.
So there's a lot of people rooting for this demographics, men and women who are coming home from prison,
criminal records,
to make it, to really
Exactly.
have a first chance at life, a great chance at becoming successful, winning.
Those
right?
opportunities are out there, for sure.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Now, you know, I mean, just to be completely transparent and just lay it out there, make sure that you know what you're getting into. Not everybody is rooting for you. Not everybody's excited to have you back. Not
right.
every employer wants to hire you. So that's why it's so important to stack the deck for you. That's why it's so important to take advantage of these resources, because now, you know, you coming out and going to the same factory that is a partner of ours isn't necessarily going to get you in the door. Going through the TYRO leadership program and then going through the training, that's what's going to get your foot in the door. Is that right, Joe?
That's exactly right. Agencies and businesses that see TYRO on your resume, their eyes widen because they know what that means. Because we carry a certain brand in the community, and that's very valuable to a guy with a criminal record.
Right.
So if somebody goes into a factory and says, you know, and applies for a job and say, I'm a TYRO, And what I've seen in the past is some of the interviewers of the factories will ask them certain questions.
Because they know what a TYRO should know.
And if they don't know those answers, then they actually, you know what, hold on, they'll make a phone call. We've been known to get phone calls from employers to say, hey, I got a guy here, he says he's a TYRO, but he didn't answer some questions correctly, so can you do a background check on him to see if is he a TYRO?
And we're like,
and then we
nope.
find out, say, nope, I'm sorry, he's not in our database,
Right.
and he's not in our case file. We don't know him. And so that disqualified him from getting a job because not only did he lie, but he wasn't a TYRO.
Yeah. So, we have a lot of crazy stories. A lot of things have happened. We've had a lot of people that say, yeah, and the one, back to your interview thing. Even with our programs, right? So this program and other of our projects going on. So let's share a few stories so that you, men and women out there, you can hear this and say, wait, no, never do that. And so Joe, like what are things that happen, like false starts or people that you think, hey, this is the one, and then...
Well, I would just say that the first thing that comes to mind is that there are a lot of pretenders out there. A lot of people that say, I'm your guy, that are interested in our program, that fill out an application, but when it comes time to attend our class, and it's 2 hours a day for 2 days a week. It's really not that big of a commitment. They don't show up. We started out, and then if they do show up, they show up for 1 or 2 days, and then they show up. So our first group in one of the work release centers that we first started out with, we started out with 18 guys, and only 8 of them persevered through the entire program.
So only
that's less
8 of
than
them.
half.
So only 8 of them were hungry.
Yes.
For a better future.
Yes.
And willing to do whatever it took.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to understand that. And one of the things that I love about TYRO is it teaches people how to care. I mean, apathy is a really bad, nasty thing to deal with. And what TYRO does is it teaches men and women how to have purpose and how to have vision for life, and that teaches them how to care. And I think that's really important.
So as we close out this next segment, I want to share one thing that I've experienced. I got a call from a factory. They needed some workers, so I looked up 4 more TYROs in there.
Right?
Got a list of people, and I called up this TYRO who had been a TYRO for a while, had been out for a little bit, and I called him, hey, you got a job? And he said, no, and actually he's been out almost 1.5 years and still didn't have a job. I said, so what's going on, man? Well, and he says, well, I've been through some issues. I said, okay, well, I got a company that's looking for somebody. You wanna apply for this job and this
Because they'll hire TYROs right now.
They'll hire a TYRO right now, and we can help you and walk you through this process. He said, well, you know what? My girlfriend's asleep right now, so let me wait till she wakes up, and I'll ask her if it's okay. So I'm like,
Ron's like, look, he says, wait. So are you telling me that you have to wait till your girlfriend wakes up and ask her permission
to get a job?
To get a job? And he's like, yeah. And Ron says, sorry, man, you're not what I'm looking for.
You're not the one I'm looking for. So
Yeah.
of course we're not in communication. 1.5 years, he's still asleep, not conscious.
Yeah.
So not everybody who says they're a TYRO or complete it, they stay a TYRO because it takes what? Hard work, perseverance, getting up early in the morning, being hungry to go get what your dreams are.
Yep, time to go get it. All right, so when we come back, we are going to give you some specific tips and tools, things you can begin doing right now where you are that are going to prepare you to be successful on the outside. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine TYRO's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions. To own it, you'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO, and today we are talking about workforce development.
And we have with us great guest, Joe Jakubowski, better known as Joe Jack. And we've been talking about, workforce development, getting into the workforce and really understanding the hard work it takes to become successful. Showing up to the class, showing up on time, not taking anything for granted. And as we close out this section, we want to talk about good. We want to share with you some ideas and some things that you need to do in order to really become successful. What's
to
going
be prepared to be that father, that leader, that mother, that employee.
Well, and what's going to set you apart from anybody else that's trying to get the job?
That's right.
So, Joe, if you can give us some tidbits that we need to send the message to or really understand.
What would be one thing? If you could tell them to do one thing, what is it you would say?
The first thing that comes to my mind is find your motivation. Ron, you asked a great question one time in a class. What are you fighting for? And I think if you can figure that out, I think that's foundational to everything else in your life and being successful. That's the first thing I would say.
That's a good word.
What are you fighting for?
Find your motivation.
So what is getting you up in the morning?
Yeah.
I'm going to piggyback of what you just said because it's powerful. Because we work with men and women and we have jobs right now, but they're at the risk of getting fired because they don't show up on time, or they just call in sick too many times and things like this. And so
and I love what Ron said. Ron said because we do TYRO leadership for companies, right? And so companies are looking for TYROs, and they even want TYRO for their existing employees. And so one thing that Ron said was, okay, so when did you all start getting mad that they hired you, that you got a job?
And that's key. The first time I ever asked that question, it was like a light for me. I'm like, man, when you disrespect people, it's because you're mad at them.
Right.
You don't like them.
Right.
Right? And so when I asked that, first time I asked that question to a group of people, 12 people, when did you get mad when they hired you? And they all looked at me like, what are you talking about?
I'm not mad that I got hired.
I'm not mad that I got hired. I said, well, your actions say you're either mad at them or you hate them and you're disrespecting them. So when did you get mad? And they began to really self-examine themselves. Wow, this is what I'm doing? The legacy that they're creating for their family is a legacy of poverty, a legacy of entitlement, a legacy of anger, right?
So to flip that around is find your motivation, right? Find out what it is that gets you up in the morning. What is it you're fighting for? And then being willing to do whatever it takes.
And I'll tell you what's not your motivation is money. Because if money was the driving factor that got you up every morning, you'd never be late. You'd always sign up for overtime. You would outwork everybody around you so you can get the money. So money is not the driving force.
There has to be something else.
It has to
behind
be
it.
something
It's a
else.
means to an end. It's a means to something else. Yeah.
That's right. Yep. So any other parting thoughts before we close out
I
today?
think one of the things that can help men and women that are watching this and the men and women that we have to work with, that they really got to understand is not only their purpose and their why, but who are they doing this for? Who are you doing this for? Are you doing it just for yourself, or is there somebody else important in your life that is counting on you to show up and to show out? They're counting on you to become that provider, that protector, the security blanket in people's lives, And I think that's something that really got to. Who are you working for? And one of the things we teach the clients that we work with is, who is your customer? Your customer is not only your wife, your kids, but even the man or the woman who hired you.
Right. So with that parting thought and those tips and tools, we got to close down the show for today, and we hope you'll join us next time here on TYRO TV. We want to thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey.
And we want to thank Joe for taking time out of his busy schedule to come and really spend time with us and spend time with you. And we hope that this has been a beneficial experience for you guys as it has for us. So until next time, always remember, we are rooting for you.
I am a man of honor.
I am a man of integrity.
I am a man of faith. I am the antidote.
I am a man of discipline. I am a leader.
I am strong.
I am a man worth following.
I am a TYRO.